Mindset Shift Audiobooks, The Good Girl Trap, When Being Nice Betrays You. Welcome to Mindset Shift Audiobooks, a place for becoming. Here you'll find the structure to build more abundance, more success, more life lived on your terms. If this resonates, subscribe for daily content. Let's begin. Introduction. The performance that's costing you. Everything you've been trained to be nice, accommodating, agreeable, easy to be around. You don't make waves, you don't cause problems, you don't ask for too much. You smile when you're frustrated. You say yes when you mean no. You downplay your needs so others stay comfortable. And everyone loves you for it. They call you sweet, thoughtful, selfless, the one they can always count on. But here's what nobody tells you. Being nice is not the same as being kind, and the performance of niceness is costing you everything. Your authenticity, your boundaries, your voice, your peace, your power. Because nice isn't real. Nice is performance. It's a strategy you learned early to stay safe, to be loved, to avoid conflict. And that strategy worked when you were a child. But you're not a child anymore. And the nice girl act that once protected you is now imprisoning you. This audiobook is about the good girl trap, the invisible cage built from other people's expectations, societal conditioning, and your own fear of being seen as difficult, demanding, or selfish. It's about recognizing how being nice has become a form of self-betrayal, how agreeableness has turned into self-abandonment, how the need to be liked has made you unlikable to yourself. And it's about breaking free, not by becoming mean or cold or aggressive, but by choosing kindness over niceness, authenticity over performance, self-respect over approval, because the good girl trap is not about being good. It's about being small, compliant, palatable, convenient for everyone except you. And you weren't meant to be convenient. You were meant to be whole. Let's begin. Chapter 1. What the Good Girl Learned. The good girl trap starts early, long before you had language for it. Long before you consciously chose it. You learned it through observation, through consequences, through the subtle and not so subtle messages about what makes girls valuable. You learned that nice girls are praised, difficult girls are punished, quiet girls are safe, loud girls are problems. You learned that your worth was tied to how little trouble you caused, how easy you were to manage, how much you could accommodate without complaint. You learned to read the room, to anticipate needs, to manage other people's emotions, to make yourself small so everyone else could stay big. This wasn't malicious. Your parents, teachers, and caregivers weren't trying to harm you. They were passing down what they learned, the same conditioning they received, the same rules they followed. But here's the problem. Those rules were never about you. They were about control, about making girls easier to manage, about ensuring you didn't threaten the status quo, and you internalized them. You made them your identity. You became the good girl, the nice one, the one who never causes problems. And for a while, it worked. People liked you. You avoided conflict. You felt safe. But over time, the cost started showing. The exhaustion of performing, the resentment of overgiving, the loneliness of never being truly seen. Because when you're always nice, people don't know the real you. They know the performance, the version you've curated to keep them comfortable. And that's the tragedy. You worked so hard to be loved, and in the process, you became invisible. not because you're not worthy of being seen, but because you've hidden yourself so thoroughly that there's nothing left to see except the act. This is the good girl trap, and it's time to dismantle it. Chapter 2. Nice versus kind. The critical distinction. Nice is performance. Kind is character. Nice is saying yes when you mean no. Kind is being honest even when it's uncomfortable. Nice is avoiding conflict at all costs. Kind is addressing issues directly and respectfully. Nice is managing other people's emotions. Kind is allowing people to have their own emotional experience. Nice is exhausting. Kind is sustainable. This distinction matters because most good girls think they're being kind, but they're actually being nice. And there's a massive difference. Kindness comes from abundance. It's rooted in self-respect and respect for others. It's honest, direct, boundaried. It doesn't sacrifice you to make others comfortable. Niceness comes from fear. It's rooted in people-pleasing and conflict avoidance. It's dishonest, indirect, boundaryless. It sacrifices you constantly. Think about the last time you said yes when you wanted to say no. Were you being kind or were you being nice? If you were being kind, you would have said no. You would have been honest about your capacity. You would have respected yourself enough not to overextend, but you were being nice. So you said yes, and then resented the commitment, and showed up half present. And everyone sensed your reluctance, even if you didn't say it. That's not kindness, that's niceness. And it serves no one. Because here's what happens when you're nice. People don't trust you. Not fully. Because they sense the performance. They sense the inauthenticity. They sense that you're saying what you think they want to hear, not what's true. And over time, they stop bringing real things to you because they know you'll just be nice about it. You won't be honest. You won't challenge them. You won't tell them what they need to hear. So you become the person for surface level interactions, the person for small talk, the person who's easy but not real. And that's lonely because you're surrounded by people, but none of them truly know you. Kindness is different. Kindness is honest. It tells the truth even when the truth is uncomfortable. It sets boundaries even when boundaries disappoint people. It says no when no is the right answer. And people respect that. They trust that because they know you're not performing. You're being real. The good girl trap convinces you that niceness is kindness. But it's not. Niceness is self-betrayal dressed up as selflessness. And the moment you understand that distinction, everything shifts. Chapter 3. The invisible labor of being nice. Being nice is exhausting, not because you're doing too much, but because you're managing too much that isn't yours to manage. You're managing other people's emotions, their reactions, their comfort, their opinions of you. You're constantly scanning the room, reading facial expressions, adjusting your tone, calibrating your words, making sure no one's upset, making sure everyone's happy. This is invisible labor, and it's draining you. Because emotional labor is real labor. It requires energy, attention, and capacity. And when you're expending all of that on managing others, you have nothing left for yourself. This is why good girls are always tired, not because they're weak, but because they're carrying weight that was never theirs to carry. Think about a recent conversation where you censored yourself, where you didn't say what you really thought, because you were worried about how it would land, where you adjusted your words to make sure the other person stayed comfortable. That's invisible labor, and you do it constantly, in every interaction, with everyone. You're not just communicating, you're managing, you're performing, you're ensuring that your existence doesn't inconvenience anyone. And that is exhausting. Most people don't do this. They say what they think. They express what they feel. They don't spend mental energy managing how their words might be received. But you do, because you've been trained to. Because being nice means making sure no one's upset by your existence. And that training has turned you into an emotional manager for everyone in your life. Your partner, your friends, your family, your co-workers, even strangers. You're constantly smoothing things over, diffusing tension, apologizing when you haven't done anything wrong, over-explaining your needs so people don't think you're being demanding. This is the invisible labor of niceness, and it's stealing your life, because while you're managing everyone else, you're neglecting yourself. Your needs go unmet, your desires go unexpressed, your boundaries go unenforced, and over time, you lose yourself completely, because there's no energy left to tend to who you actually are beneath the performance. The solution is not to stop caring about people, it's to stop managing them. It's to let people have their own emotional experience without making it your responsibility. Someone's upset? That's theirs to handle. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to apologize for existing. You don't need to adjust yourself to make them comfortable. This feels impossible at first, because you've been doing the opposite your entire life. But it's the only path to freedom, because you cannot be both authentic and nice. One always sacrifices the other, and if you keep choosing niceness, you'll keep losing yourself. The invisible labor ends when you stop performing, and you stop performing when you decide that being real matters more than being liked. Chapter 4. People-pleasing as self-abandonment. People-pleasing feels noble, selfless, generous. You're putting others first. You're being considerate. You're making sacrifices for the people you love. But here's the truth. People-pleasing is not generosity. It's self-abandonment. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you abandon yourself. Every time you suppress your needs to avoid conflict, you abandon yourself. Every time you perform niceness while seething with resentment, you abandon yourself. And self-abandonment has consequences, not just emotionally, but physically, mentally, relationally. Physically, your body keeps the score, the tension, the exhaustion. The stress of constant performance manifests as headaches, digestive issues, chronic fatigue. Your body is screaming at you to stop betraying yourself. Mentally, you lose clarity. You don't know what you want anymore. You've spent so long accommodating others that you've lost touch with your own preferences, desires, needs. You've become a mirror reflecting everyone else, with no substance of your own. Relationally, you attract people who take, because takers can sense givers. They can sense people who won't set boundaries, who won't say no, who will keep accommodating no matter the cost. And you end up in one-sided relationships, where you're always the one adjusting, always the one sacrificing, always the one over-functioning while they under-function. This is the cost of people-pleasing, and it's not sustainable, because self-abandonment doesn't just hurt you, it hurts your relationships too. because no one actually gets the real you. They get the performance, the version you think they want. And on some level, they sense that. They sense the inauthenticity, the lack of groundedness, the fact that you're not actually present. You're managing. So they don't trust you fully. They don't open up fully. They keep things surface level because that's the energy you're bringing. And you're lonely, surrounded by people who think they know you, but they don't, because you've never shown them the real you, just a nice version. The way out of people-pleasing is not to become selfish. It's to recognize that honoring yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot serve from a place of depletion. You cannot love others authentically if you're abandoning yourself to do it. Real generosity comes from overflow, from abundance, from a place where you've cared for yourself first, and now you have something genuine to offer. But people-pleasing doesn't come from overflow. It comes from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being seen as difficult, and anything done from fear is not sustainable. It will eventually collapse, either through burnout, resentment, or an explosive breakdown where you finally can't hold it anymore. The question is, will you address it now, or will you wait until your body forces you to? Because self-abandonment always catches up, and the longer you wait, the harder the reckoning. Chapter 5. The resentment that builds in silence. You say yes, you accommodate, you adjust, you overgive, and you tell yourself it's fine. You're being generous. It's not a big deal. But underneath, resentment is building. Quietly, steadily, like water behind a dam. You resent that they didn't notice you were uncomfortable. You resent that they keep asking. You resent that you're always the one adjusting. You resent that your needs are never prioritized, but you don't say anything, because saying something would make you the difficult one, the demanding one, the problem. So you stay silent. And the resentment grows. This is the hidden cost of being nice. The anger that has nowhere to go. The frustration that can't be expressed. The bitterness that festers in silence. And here's what most people don't understand. Unexpressed resentment doesn't disappear. It leaks. In passive-aggressive comments. In withdrawal. In subtle sabotage. In emotional distance. You don't mean to do it, but you can't help it because you're carrying anger with no outlet, and it has to go somewhere. So it shows up in tone, in body language, in the things you don't say, in the ways you pull back without explanation, and the people around you sense it. They know something's wrong, but they don't know what, because you've never told them. Because nice girls don't get angry. Nice girls don't complain. Nice girls handle things gracefully. So you swallow your resentment, and it poisons you from the inside. This is not sustainable, and it's not fair to you or to them. Because when you don't communicate your boundaries, people can't respect them. When you don't express your needs, people can't meet them. When you don't speak your truth, people can't respond to it. You're expecting them to read your mind, to notice your discomfort, to intuit what you need without you saying it. And that's not reasonable. That's not realistic. And it's not their fault when they fail. The solution is not to suppress the resentment. The solution is to stop creating it in the first place. And you stop creating it by setting boundaries, by saying no when you mean no, by expressing needs before they become demands, by addressing issues early instead of letting them fester. This feels uncomfortable because it means risking conflict, risking disappointment, risking being seen as difficult. But the alternative is worse. The alternative is silent resentment that slowly kills your relationships, your peace, and your sense of self. You can't have both niceness and honesty. You have to choose. And if you keep choosing niceness, resentment will always follow, because resentment is just unexpressed truth. And truth always demands to be heard, one way or another. The question is, will you speak it consciously, or will you let it leak unconsciously? Chapter 6. The boundary. You're afraid to set. You know you need boundaries. Everyone talks about boundaries. Set boundaries, they say. Protect your energy, they say. But when it comes time to actually set one, you freeze. Because setting a boundary means disappointing someone, saying no, being seen as difficult, risking the relationship, and that terrifies you. So you keep saying yes, keep accommodating, keep over-functioning, and tell yourself you'll set boundaries next time. But next time never comes, because the fear is always there. Here's what you need to understand. Boundaries are not walls. They're not punishments. They're not rejections. Boundaries are clarity. They're honesty. They're the loving act of communicating what you can and cannot do, so everyone knows where they stand. But the good girl conditioning has taught you that boundaries are selfish. That saying no makes you a bad person. That disappointing people means you've failed. And that conditioning keeps you trapped in boundaryless relationships where you're constantly depleted. The truth is, boundaries are the most generous thing you can offer. Because when you're clear about your limits, people know what to expect. They're not guessing. They're not overstepping unknowingly. They have clarity, and clarity is kind, but you've been avoiding clarity. Because clarity requires courage. It requires being willing to disappoint, to be misunderstood, to be called selfish by people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. And that's hard, but here's what's harder: living without boundaries, resenting everyone, feeling used, exhausted, bitter. That's harder. Setting a boundary feels hard in the moment, but living without boundaries is hard every single day. So the question is, which hard do you choose? The hard of one uncomfortable conversation, or the hard of years of resentment and depletion? Most good girls choose the second one because it's familiar, because it doesn't require confrontation, because they can tell themselves they're being selfless. But choosing depletion is not selfless, it's self-destructive, and eventually it destroys the relationship too, because resentment always does. The boundary you're afraid to set is the exact boundary you need to set, the one that feels impossible, the one that makes your stomach drop when you think about it. That's the one, because that's the boundary that's costing you your peace, your authenticity, your self-respect, and until you set it, you'll keep shrinking, keep performing, keep abandoning yourself. Setting boundaries is not easy, but it's necessary, and the more you practice, the easier it gets. Start small. Say no to one thing this week, not a big thing, just one small thing you'd normally say yes to. Feel the discomfort, survive it, and watch what happens. Most of the time, nothing catastrophic happens. The person adjusts, the relationship continues, and you realize you can set boundaries and still be loved, but you'll never know that until you try. And the good girl trap keeps you from trying. So try. Set one boundary, see what happens, and build from there. Chapter 7. When your niceness enables bad behavior. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Your niceness is not always helping. Sometimes it's enabling. When you tolerate disrespect to avoid conflict, you're enabling disrespect. When you make excuses for someone's behavior to keep the peace, you're enabling that behavior. When you overfunction for someone who's underfunctioning, you're enabling their lack of responsibility, and you tell yourself you're being patient, understanding, compassionate. But compassion without boundaries is not compassion. It's codependence. Because when you never hold people accountable, they never grow. When you always accommodate, they never learn to respect limits. When you absorb all the consequences of their choices, they never face them. And everyone stays stuck. You stay resentful. They stay irresponsible. Nothing changes. This is the shadow side of niceness. It's not just harmful to you, it's harmful to them too. Because people need consequences. They need boundaries. They need to know when they've crossed a line. Without that feedback, they keep crossing lines and wonder why relationships keep failing. But you're not giving them that feedback. You're being nice. You're covering for them. You're smoothing things over. You're protecting them from their own consequences. And in doing so, you're preventing their growth. This shows up everywhere. With the friend who's always late and you say nothing. With the partner who's dismissive and you make excuses. With the coworker who takes credit for your work and you stay silent. You tell yourself you're being the bigger person, but you're not. You're just avoiding confrontation. And that avoidance has a cost, for you and for them. The most loving thing you can do is tell the truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable, even when it creates conflict, even when it disappoints. Because people can't change what they don't know is a problem, and your niceness is hiding the problem. This doesn't mean being cruel. It doesn't mean attacking. It doesn't mean being aggressive. It means being honest, direct, clear. When you do X, it affects me in Y way. I need Z to change. That's it. Simple, direct, respectful. But most good girls can't do this because it feels mean, confrontational, demanding. But it's not. It's honest. And honesty is the foundation of healthy relationships. Without honesty, you don't have a relationship. You have a performance, a facade, a dynamic built on avoidance and resentment. So if you truly care about someone, stop being nice to them. Start being honest. Tell them when they hurt you. Hold them accountable when they cross boundaries. Let them face the consequences of their choices. That's love, not niceness. Love. And the people who can't handle that honesty, they're not your people. They never were. Because healthy people want honesty. They want to know when they've messed up. They want to grow. They value truth over comfort. Unhealthy people want niceness. They want you to stay silent, to accommodate, to never challenge them. And your niceness is keeping you trapped with unhealthy people while pushing away the healthy ones. Because healthy people can sense the inauthenticity and they don't stick around for it. So if you want real relationships, stop being nice. Start being real. Chapter 8. The Good Girl in Professional Spaces. The good girl trap doesn't just show up in personal relationships. It shows up at work too. You don't negotiate your salary because you don't want to seem greedy. You don't take credit for your work because you don't want to seem arrogant. You don't speak up in meetings because you don't want to seem aggressive. You say yes to every project. You work late without complaint. You absorb criticism without defending yourself. You let others take credit for your ideas. And you tell yourself you're being a team player, professional, easy to work with. But what you're actually being is underpaid, overworked, and invisible. Because the good girl conditioning doesn't stop when you enter professional spaces. It follows you, and it costs you money, opportunities, and respect. The women who advance are not the nicest women. They're the women who advocate for themselves, who negotiate, who set boundaries, who speak up, who take credit for their work. But you've been taught that those behaviors are masculine, aggressive, unfeminine. So you avoid them, and you stay stuck, passed over for promotions, underpaid compared to your peers, doing the work of two people while being compensated for one. This is not coincidence. This is the good girl trap in action, because workplaces reward assertiveness. They reward self-advocacy. They reward people who know their value and communicate it clearly. They do not reward niceness. They exploit it, and you're being exploited. Not because you're not talented, not because you're not hardworking, but because you're too nice to demand what you're worth. Think about the last time you were offered a salary. Did you negotiate, or did you accept it gratefully, not wanting to seem difficult? Think about the last time someone took credit for your idea. Did you speak up, or did you stay silent, not wanting to cause a scene? Think about the last time you were asked to take on extra work. Did you assess your capacity? Or did you say yes immediately, not wanting to let anyone down? These are good girl patterns, and they're keeping you small professionally. The solution is not to become aggressive or ruthless. It's to advocate for yourself with the same energy you advocate for others. You'll fight for your team. You'll negotiate on behalf of your reports. You'll defend your colleagues when they're treated unfairly. But when it comes to yourself, silence. That needs to change. Start small. Take credit for one thing this week. Speak up in one meeting. Say no to one request that's outside your scope. Feel the discomfort. Notice the fear that you'll be seen as difficult, and do it anyway. Because the women who succeed professionally are not the ones who are easiest to work with. They're the ones who know their value and refuse to accept less. You are valuable. Your work is valuable. Your ideas are valuable. Your time is valuable. And it's time you started acting like it. Not through arrogance, but through self-respect, through clear communication, through boundaries that protect your capacity. The good girl doesn't get promoted. The woman who advocates for herself does. Which one will you be? Chapter 9. Rewriting the script. You've lived as the good girl for so long, it feels like who you are. But it's not. It's a script you learned, a role you've been performing, and you can rewrite it. But rewriting requires awareness. You have to notice when you're performing, when you're people-pleasing, when you're abandoning yourself, and then you have to choose differently. This is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice, a moment-by-moment choice to honor yourself over the performance. It starts with small things. The next time someone asks you to do something, pause before answering. Don't default to yes. Ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Do I have capacity? Or am I just being nice? If it's the latter, say no. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if they're disappointed. The next time you feel resentment building, don't suppress it. Ask, what boundary did I fail to set? What need did I ignore? What truth did I not speak? Then speak it, not aggressively, but clearly. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I need to step back from this commitment. The next time you catch yourself managing someone else's emotions, stop. Let them have their feelings. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to apologize for existing. These are small choices, but they compound, and over time, they rewire the script. You won't become a different person overnight. The good girl conditioning runs deep. It's been reinforced for decades. So give yourself grace. There will be moments when you default to niceness, when you say yes and immediately regret it, when you suppress your needs to keep the peace. That's okay. Notice it. Learn from it. Choose differently next time, because rewriting the script is not about perfection. It's about progress, about slowly, steadily choosing yourself over the performance. And as you do, something shifts. You stop feeling like you're constantly performing. You start feeling more grounded, more present, more real, because you're not managing anymore. You're not scanning the room. You're not calibrating your words. You're just being, and that feels like freedom. The people around you will notice the change. Some will adjust. Some will resist. Some will leave. Let them. Anyone who can't handle the real you was only ever in relationship with the performance. And that's not a loss, it's clarity. The right people will stay, the ones who value honesty over niceness, the ones who respect boundaries, the ones who want the real you, not the performance. Those are your people, and they've been waiting for you to show up. So rewrite the script, one choice at a time, one boundary at a time, one truth at a time, and watch your life transform. Chapter 10. The Freedom on the Other Side. Here's what most people don't tell you about breaking free from the good girl trap. It's terrifying at first, but then it's liberating in ways you can't imagine. When you first start setting boundaries, it feels wrong. Your nervous system panics. Your conditioning screams that you're being selfish, that you're hurting people, that you're failing, but you're not. You're just being honest for the first time in your life. And yes, some people will be upset. They'll say you've changed, that you're not the person they knew, that you've become difficult, and they're right. You have changed. You're no longer performing. You're no longer suppressing. You're no longer abandoning yourself for their comfort. And to the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries, that feels like loss, because they're losing the version of you that never said no, that always accommodated, that made their life easier. But that version of you was costing you everything, and you're allowed to stop paying that price. The freedom on the other side of the good girl trap is not just about saying no. It's about knowing yourself again, trusting yourself again, respecting yourself again. It's waking up and not immediately wondering who needs what from you. It's making decisions based on what you actually want, not what keeps everyone else happy. It's having energy left at the end of the day because you're not managing everyone's emotions. It's relationships that feel reciprocal, where you're not the only one adjusting, where your needs matter as much as theirs, where honesty is valued over performance. It's professional respect, fair compensation, opportunities that reflect your value, because you're finally advocating for yourself. It's inner peace, because you're no longer at war with yourself. You're no longer betraying yourself to keep others comfortable. This is what's waiting for you on the other side. But you have to be willing to walk through the discomfort to get there. And the discomfort is real. There will be moments when you wonder if you made a mistake, when the old script feels safer, when you're tempted to go back to being nice because it's familiar. But don't. Stay the course. Trust the process. Keep choosing yourself, because what's on the other side is worth it. A life where you're not performing, where you're not shrinking, where you're not abandoning yourself, a life where you're real, whole, free. That's what the good girl trap was keeping you from. And that's what breaking free gives you back. Not perfection, not a life without conflict, but a life where you're present, where you're authentic, where you're you. And that's everything. Chapter 11. Teaching people how to treat you. You've heard this before. You teach people how to treat you. But what does that actually mean? It means that people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Not through one-time events, but through consistent patterns. If you consistently accept disrespect, people learn they can disrespect you. If you consistently say yes when you mean no, people learn they can keep asking without consequence. If you consistently prioritize others while neglecting yourself, people learn your needs don't matter. This is not malicious. Most people are not consciously trying to exploit you. They're just following the patterns you've established. And the good girl establishes patterns that invite exploitation, not because she wants to be exploited, but because she's afraid to enforce boundaries, afraid to disappoint, afraid to be seen as difficult. So she tolerates things she shouldn't, and people learn, this is acceptable, this is how I can treat her. And then she's confused when people keep treating her that way. She wonders why she attracts takers, why her relationships are one-sided, why she's always the one adjusting. But she's the one teaching them. Through her silence, through her accommodation, through her lack of boundaries. The good news, you can reteach them, but it requires consistency. You can't set a boundary once and expect it to stick. You have to enforce it every time, without exception. The first time you say no, people will push back. They'll test the boundary. They'll see if you really mean it or if you'll fold. And if you fold, you've taught them. The boundary isn't real. I can keep pushing. But if you hold firm, they learn. She means it. And they adjust. This is how you teach people to treat you differently. Through consistent enforcement of boundaries. Through refusing to accept what's unacceptable. Through showing, not just telling, what you will and won't tolerate. It won't happen overnight. People are used to the old version of you, the one who said yes, the one who adjusted, the one who never pushed back. So they'll resist the new version. They'll test you. They'll try to guilt you back into compliance. But if you stay consistent, they either adjust or they leave, and either outcome is acceptable. Because people who can't respect your boundaries don't belong in your life. This is hard, especially with family, with long-term relationships, with people you love. But love without respect is not love, it's codependence. And codependence is not sustainable. So teach people how to treat you. Through your actions, not just your words. Through consistency, not exceptions. Through boundaries that you actually enforce. And watch your relationships transform. The healthy ones get healthier. The unhealthy ones either heal or end. And both are victories, because you're no longer tolerating what depletes you. You're creating space for what nourishes you. And that's how you build a life worth living. Chapter 12. Becoming the kind woman, not the nice girl. The goal is not to become mean, cold, uncaring, selfish. The goal is to become kind, and kindness is not niceness. The kind woman tells the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. The kind woman sets boundaries, even when they disappoint. The kind woman honors herself, even when it inconveniences others. The kind woman does not perform. She does not people please. She does not abandon herself to make others comfortable, but she cares deeply. She shows up. She supports. She gives from overflow, not depletion. This is the woman you're becoming, not the nice girl, the kind woman. And the transition is not easy, because you've spent so long performing niceness that authenticity feels foreign, uncomfortable, wrong. But it's not wrong, it's right. It's the most right thing you've ever done, because living as the nice girl was killing you. Slowly, quietly, but inevitably. Living as the kind woman brings you back to life. She knows herself, she trusts herself, she respects herself, and that self-knowledge, self-trust, and self-respect radiates outward. People feel it, they sense the difference. She's grounded, solid, real. There's no performance, no facade, just presence. And that presence is magnetic, because it's rare. Most people are performing, managing, adjusting, hiding, but she's not. She's just being, and that authenticity draws people in. Not all people, not the takers, not the ones who wanted her to stay small, but the right people, the ones who value truth, who respect boundaries, who want real connection. Those are her people, and they've been waiting for her to show up. The kind woman is not perfect. She makes mistakes. She has off days. She sometimes defaults to old patterns. But she notices, she learns, she adjusts, and she keeps choosing authenticity over performance. Because she knows the nice girl was a trap, but the kind woman is freedom. And once you taste that freedom, you can't go back. You won't want to. Because even on the hard days, even when boundaries create conflict, even when honesty disappoints, it's still better than the exhaustion of performing, because you're no longer at war with yourself. You're no longer betraying yourself. You're aligned, whole, real, and that alignment is worth every uncomfortable conversation, every disappointed person, every relationship that doesn't survive your authenticity. Because you're not here to be convenient. You're here to be whole. And the kind woman is whole. She's integrated all the parts of herself, the soft and the strong, the gentle and the firm, the accommodating and the boundaried. She doesn't need to perform niceness because she is kind, from her core, not as a strategy, but as an expression of who she is. That's the woman you're becoming, and she's magnificent. Conclusion. The invitation to choose yourself. You've been the good girl long enough, the nice one, the easy one, the one who never causes problems, and it's cost you everything: your authenticity, your boundaries, your voice, your peace. But you're not stuck there. The good girl trap is not a life sentence. It's a pattern, and patterns can be broken. It starts with a choice. The choice to honor yourself, to set boundaries, to speak truth, to prioritize your needs without guilt. And that choice is uncomfortable because you're going against decades of conditioning, against the voices that told you to be small, to be nice, to be convenient. But discomfort is not danger, it's growth, and growth is the only path to freedom. So here's the invitation. Choose yourself, not once, daily, moment by moment, choice by choice. When you're tempted to say yes, but you mean no, choose yourself, say no. When you're tempted to suppress your needs to avoid conflict, choose yourself, speak up. When you're tempted to manage someone else's emotions, choose yourself. Let them feel what they feel. This is how you break free, not through one dramatic moment of transformation, but through thousands of small choices that compound into a completely different life. And yes, some people will be upset. Some relationships will end. Some opportunities will close. Let them. Anyone or anything that requires you to betray yourself to keep it was never meant for you. The right people will stay. The right opportunities will come. The right life will unfold, but only if you choose yourself, consistently, unapologetically, without exception. This is not selfish. This is self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of everything meaningful. You cannot love others authentically if you're abandoning yourself to do it. You cannot serve from a place of depletion. You cannot give what you don't have. So fill your own cup first. Set boundaries. Honor your needs. Speak your truth. Choose yourself. And watch your life transform from performance to presence, from depletion to abundance, from the good girl trap to freedom. You were never meant to be convenient. You were meant to be whole, and wholeness is waiting. On the other side of the discomfort, on the other side of the fear, on the other side of the nice girl performance. All you have to do is choose it. Choose yourself. Every day, until it becomes who you are, not the good girl, not the nice one, the real one. And she's been waiting for you to set her free. The choice is yours. It's always been yours. Choose yourself. Thank you for listening, and if this resonated, subscribe for more audiobooks on money, identity, and building a life that belongs to you. You can find them at MonifaMuse.com. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.